Okay, folks, it's time to review the Rolling Stones' Aftermath. Finally, yes, this is a fantastic album. I love this album. Are you kidding me? Who doesn't love this album? This is a great album. I like how it just says including Painted Black. And the back cover, man, David Bailey, pretty cool photographer, and I love those photos in the back. So cool. So cool. I think this was the 6th studio album in the US. And in the UK, it was their 4th studio album, and this is, of course, what it looked like. It's basically the same on the back, but you got these 3 Aftermath Rolling Stones. Can you believe that this album was going to originally be called Could You Walk on the Water? Can you believe that? Unfortunately, and with Andrew Loog Oldham, Decca Records, they decided that they bailed it out. They didn't think it was appropriate enough, and I think due to the fact of a lot of religious people, including Christians, would have thought that would have offended them. So that's why they changed it to Aftermath, which at that time, around the same time, that was John Lennon. He said that the Beatles were bigger than Jesus. Back in March of '66. So right around then, they were gonna, I can see why. Alrighty, so in the UK it went #1, and in the US it went #2, went platinum. It was released on April 15th, 1966 in the UK, and was released a little bit later in the summer of 1966 for us in the North America, July 2nd of '66. Rolling Stone 500 Greatest Albums ranked this at 108, so yeah, I guess so. People consider this to be probably one of their greatest albums of the '60s. This was basically original material. This was not covered. They were pretty much done with that. This is basically now the Jagger Richards that we all know and well, and yeah. So this album features a lot of interesting, but though definitely a lot of that original early Rolling Stones sound a little bit, and a little bit of what they were doing at the time, which was basically psychedelia and Middle Eastern influences, and of course they were really big into the Beatles, but they came out with Rubber Soul, around that time, and quite funny that George Harrison came over. I think Brian Jones, they came over, or he went to Harrison's house and showed him actually how to play the sitar, which led into the iconic sitar played by Brian Jones on Painted Black. So you got a lot of that going on, but you definitely got a lot of that blues, R&B, twisted in on this album. You know what I mean? But definitely, I don't know what album cover. I don't know, folks. What can you say? I don't know. I love this a little bit better. This one's actually quite not that bad. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I love the font, by the way. I think I prefer the font on this one more than this one, but I think this front cover of this one is definitely a lot more better than this. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, this was actually a pretty important album, really. It kind of shaped a lot of that punk and glam rock. It kind of, which kind of, later then formed later down in the '70s, later down the road, So anyways, yeah, this was a pretty important album, and the fuzz bass is prominent on this album for sure, because Keith Richards actually plays that fuzz bass, and was very influenced by, which I'm pretty sure, based on McCartney's "Think for Yourself," which of course he played on. I mean, it was the Harrison, song, but McCartney, played, the fuzz bass on the track. You know what I mean? And you definitely hear it a lot on some of the songs. Songs such as Under My Thumb, Flight 505, and It's Not Easy. Great song. Can't wait to cover that one. So yeah, let's go ahead. First of all, Mick Jagger plays harmonica on Don't You Bother Me. Keith Richards, majority, and I think throughout the whole album, he plays electric and acoustic, so not so much Brian. He's definitely playing a lot more of the dulcimer and the sitar and the marimba on Under My Thumb. So yeah, and of course the fuzz bass on the songs I just mentioned. Brian Jones plays dulcimer on Lady Jane and I Am Waiting. Harmonica on Going Home. High and Dry, and of course marimba, like I mentioned. Actually, this is quite rare to actually, for Bill Wyman on an album, to actually play Hammond organ. I don't know if you can hear, but he plays Hammond organ on Painted Black. Can you believe that? And of course, Jack Nitzsche back once again, doing piano, organ, and harpsichord. And of course, the album was produced by Mr. Oldham. And this was a pretty important, oh yeah, I have to repeat that over. This was actually the first album really to be recorded in true stereo, which kind of blows my mind a little bit, So anyways, so the UK track listing, it opens up with Mother's Little Helper, which of course was a single down here and was eventually on the Flowers compilation. Stupid Girl, Lady Jane, Under My Thumb, Don't You Bother Me, and Going Home is actually the, which closes side one, because it's such a long track. I don't know why they would, I guess maybe just to, get it over with. So, and then side two starts with Flight 505, High and Dry, Out of Time, which was from Flowers, It's Not Easy, I Am Waiting, Take It or Leave It, which was from Flowers, What to Do, which I believe was an unreleased track, I believe, and then Think. Or no, Think and then What to Do. And so yeah, here we go. We're going to start off here with the U.S. Of course, because I am a U.S. citizen. Okay, Painted Black opens up the United States album. So it was recorded back in March of 1966. And was released May the 7th of that year, went #1. They had a Satisfaction. And this was, of course, at the time where they were really just blowing, really just being big, like, really just showing a little bit more, what they can do and really just let them be exposed to audience, to the listeners, They had a Satisfaction, Got Off My Cloud, 19 Nervous Breakdown. Well, that was a #2 hit down here, and Painted Black. Yeah, what a great song. I mean, gotta love that opening sitar. It just has like that, it's just so great. I just love it. I just love that opening. Just like it opens doors and opens like so much of like what the song will bring. Great pounding, drumming, and by the way, the day that I'm filming this, and I know it was probably like mid part of the week. I would like to do a separate video and talk about how great Charlie Watts was. I couldn't believe when I saw my phone and saw, oh my God, Charlie Watts he died. I can't believe it. It's just crazy, man. So I'll definitely do a video on Charlie Watts. Rest in peace. Great drummer, definitely fantastic. And he definitely is fantastic on this track, man. Just that pounding drumming. I see a red door and I want to paint it black. No colors anymore, I want them to turn black. Just love that. It's just dark. Got a lot of that dark theming on this song. It's just like really just, I see the girls walk by in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. Just like, oh man, he misses this girl so much. She's gone. Like, he misses her. He sees nothing but just depression and anxiety, and just wishes that she would be back, but man, Painted Black. Then we get Look at That Stupid Girl. This was the B-side to Painted Black. So isn't that funny? We got A and B side. I wrote on here, intro, loving that intro again with the caveman drumming once again. Definitely that really classic 60s organ really carries on with the track. I believe that was done by Jack Nietzsche. I don't know, or it could have been Brian or Jack. Really nice clean flourishes by Keith. I really like that. And the lyrics go, you know, in the ending verse here. Worst thing in this world. Love, yeah, I love the bridge chorus. Yeah, look at that stupid girl. Now some people always comment and, you know, whatever. You know, every informational thing about this album. Mick Jagger seems to be misogynist. Like, you know, it's like, whatever. He's just thinking about this stupid girl, you know what I mean? Just whatever. I mean, girls are stupid. Whatever, you know? Move on. Then we get, oh, beautiful song, Lady Jane. I love this song. I don't know why I love it, but I love it. And the first time I heard this was off of my dad's copy of Flowers, which I think was from his uncle, and he gave it to him. Beautiful song. Again, Brian Jones with the beautiful, you know, dulcimer, and you know, he played that on "I'm Waiting." Beautiful. I love the way he plays it, and you know, oh my sweet Lady Jane, do 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 do, when I'll see you again, my love, or my love and for dawn only remain. I love like his, you know, mixed delivery. It's sweet. It's got like some sort of like, you know, really like nice, and, you know, like he's almost vowing to this girl or whatever. Definitely following more of the Baroque style, you know, if you will. And this is a great song. Definitely great. And of course was off of the Flowers compilation. Then we get the next song, Under My Thumb. Great song. This is about revenge. This is about, you know, this girl's walking all over this guy, but you know what? I got you under my thumb. Tongue in cheek. It was recorded on the same day as Painted Black on RCA. And by the way, the album was recorded. First recordings of it started in December the 6th and 10th of 1965, and then March the 3rd and 12th for Painted Black, I believe, and that song of 66. And majority of it was all recorded in RCA. Under my thumb, the girl that pushed me around, under my thumb. Ooh, man. Ain't it the truth, babe? Right? Ain't it the truth? I really love the snare opening. Great. Raunchy riffing by Keith. I mean, great. And you got a little bit of a break with the acoustic break there. I really like that. And of course, marimbas was done by, you know, the xylophone sounding instrument was done by Brian Jones. Yeah, this is a classic staple for the Stones. They would definitely play this a little bit, you know, 69, and you know, basically was a staple for their list of songs that they would play live, and you know, that's a great song. I mean, how can you not like this, you know? All right, then we get Don't You Bother Me, man. This is completely just, I think, you know what? I think they're a bit ahead of the curve there. This would have been great if this was on maybe, you know, Beggar Banquet maybe, or Let It Bleed. This definitely has like that late 60s Stones sound. Oh, don't you follow me no more. I love that line. Yeah, I wrote classic early Stones. Love this sliding, you know, by Keith Richards. The harmonica goes pretty well with Mick. You know, I like his playing. And then you got that brick that kind of comes in with the intro, and then like kind of at the end, like once all the instruments kind of fade, it gets into this kind of like, you know, a brick beat, I guess, or something. They're hitting something or whatever, and I like that. You know, it's basically, you know, the Stones basically doing what they were kind of doing before. But yeah, it's a good song. And then we get Think. Really nice. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the opening of Under My Thumb a little bit. Has that feel. Tell me whose fault was that, babe? Tell me whose fault is that, babe? Think back, baby. Great song. Nice acoustic opening. I like that. I wrote moderate tempo pop. You know, I mean, it definitely has that Under My Thumb feel a little bit. And it has, it kind of like, to my ear, it has like that, at least with the opening, electric or opening acoustic, kind of reminds me a little bit of the opening chords on that that song from '63, Walk Right In, Step Right Down. It almost sounds a little bit like that. I don't know if you guys know that song. I think that was a folk song or whatever that was. It was from the early '60s, but anyways, it sounded like that. Yeah, it's a great, nice track to close the album, you know. Then we get side 2, Flight 505. This is, I love the bar room, that nice, cool barroom feel, bluesy, you know, opening by Jack Nitzsche, I believe. Very upbeat, and the fuzz bass is prominent here. Yeah, I definitely hear it for sure. You definitely hear it in the background. So the chorus, I like the chorus. Like I said, very raunchy. Then you get that nice, clean electric bridge there, kind of fill bridge, if you will, solo by Keith. Get Me on Flight 0505. Great song. Then we get High and Dry. So we get Flight 505, which I'm pretty sure the narrator in the song is just like, man, I just want to just fly off, do my own thing, you know. Then we get this song, High and Dry, man. You left me high and dry. It's like this girl just left me and, you know, felt like she abused me and manipulated me. She left me high and dry. Like Charlie's, the hi-hats throughout the song. Harmonica Flourishes by Brian Jones. That's great. And yeah, it seems to have that early Stones, once again, that earlier period there. But yeah, man, I mean, just, once again, you know, this girl's trying to mind control this guy, and like, hey, man, like, what's going on here? You're leaving me, and, you know, you're leaving me with nothing here, you know? Then we get the next song, great song, I love this one, It's Not Easy. Very Chuck Berry. When I heard this, I'm like, whoa, sounds a little bit like Chuck Berry. So the fuzz bass, once again here, Keith playing it. And yeah, you don't really hear too much with, I mean, well, yeah, some of the, definitely, you know, a good half of the songs, Bill is playing bass, but a majority of some of the tracks, when you get to that fuzz bass by Keith, he's not really on the track, you know what I mean? He's maybe doing some percussion work or whatever. Yeah, and the backing vocals is great. You know, it's just like, you know, it feels like it's just like, you know, it's not easy being in love, and then it's not easy kind of being in this romantic, you know, situation or whatever. It feels like that's, you know, kind of feels like, I think that's where I'm getting at, you know, really. And then I Am Waiting. Once again, definitely showing their new sound, you know, that psychedelia kind of, you know, Baroque, if you will. Bubbling percussion by Charlie, does great. Waiting for someone, hold on. Waiting for someone to come out somewhere. They say it really fast. It definitely has that Middle Eastern, definitely that psychedelia influence there. and definitely nice, upbeat. Kind of gets a little bit. It kind of gets it set like in the bridge. It kind of goes on an upbeat kind of like it's going somewhere, and then it just kind of goes back to that, that slow, like, feeling, whatever. Yeah, I like this song, Once again, the dulcimer was played by Brian. And yeah, it definitely has that feel for what's to come on the next album. And maybe a couple of the other songs, Then we get the last track, which is Going Home. And unfortunately, this outbeaten, can you believe that? Outbeaten the great Desolation Row. Because I think that was like 11 minutes and 5 seconds, or maybe 11 seconds or whatever. This goes from 11 minutes to 35 seconds. I mean, it's whatever. It feels like originally this was going to be like a 2-minute song, and then they kind of went on and on to do other stuff. It's definitely just improvised, really just improvised instrumentations of just them kind of just jamming, and just whatever, just doesn't have a point. It doesn't have a proper start. You know what I mean? Well, it kind of does. It has like that tremolo guitar intro, but it's just, it feels like it just doesn't go anywhere. And I mean, I kind of like how it goes, but I mean, once again, it's just not very interesting. It just sounds kind of like, all right, I just want to turn this off. So it's kind of a bit of a disappointment to kind of have a, just as your last track basically being like this very long, extensive, just improvising and, all these different things happening, and kind of just ends, and you got harmonica and got some bluesy bits and stuff, and it's all right. I mean, I wish it could have been better, but, But anyways, folks, I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, I love this album. This is great. I don't care with that Going Home track, whatever. That's a great album. You got Painted Black. Dark song, And it's like, hey, you pick which one you want to listen to, because Mother's Little Helper is even dark too. It's got a dark theming, about drugs and, that sort of thing. And you got Painted Black, which is about like this girl, this death of a girl, And that's it. My next review will be Between the Buttons. So yeah, we definitely hear a little bit of what's to come on their next album. And, and definitely Brian will be playing a little bit, he'll be playing a lot of different, definitely a lot of different variety of, than just the dulcimer and all that. He'll be playing like flutes and, because after this album they released Mother's Little Helper and Have You Seen Your Mother, Baby Standing in the Shadow. I believe it was September of that year. And that's when they started recording Between the Buttons. And I felt like at this time, for reading about, with Brian Jones's, at this time, 66 and 67, he was kind of a bit disappointed with the band a little bit. And, he just thinks, Jagger Richards, it's just all about, whatever. And he kind of felt a little bit left out. Like, he just wished that they can just continue on with the blues kind of thing. But, yeah, I mean, later, Beggar's Banquet, I mean, that was kind of it, That's when they came back and they, went back to their old roots, I guess, if you will. But anyways, folks, that's it. That's my review of Aftermath. Okay, guys, take care.